Chapter 66-96. Claire didn't think much about it. In her opinion, her husband is now also a staff member of the Tawana team. It may be necessary to have dinner with them after the performance and review the work. When Charlie arrived at Classic Mansion, Tawana had already arrived. A dozen people also arrived at the scene. They were all on pins and needles when they saw Charlie. Seeing that they all looked unhappy, Charlie asked curiously, "What's wrong with you? You don't look as radiant as last night." Hank, as a representative, went straight to the point. "Mr. Wade, I don't know what you did to us. We all became impotent without exception last night. Did you poison us?" "Poison?" Charlie smiled and said, "It's colorless, tasteless, painless, and can make you lose your male ability. Have you ever seen such a magical poison?" Hank frowned and asked, "Do you mean you don't admit it?" "No, no, no." Charlie waved his hands and smiled calmly. "It is indeed my fault that you lost your functions. But my method is not poisoning, but much more advanced than poisoning. As long as I am not willing to show mercy, all of you will never be able to experience the feeling of being a man again in this life." Hank was anxious and angry, and questioned him. "Mr. Wade, you are a bit too much. We think we have never offended you from beginning to end. Why are you targeting us like this?" Charlie said generously, "Because I don't like you. Just like you like to play with little girls. I like to play with scum like you. What's your problem?" "You?" Hank never thought that Charlie would be so open and aboveboard. He knew that it would be meaningless to confront him, so he asked, "Mr. Wade, let's not beat around the bush. Just tell us how much money you want, and we will give it to you, right?" Charlie asked him back, "Didn't I say it yesterday? Is your memory bad, or is there something wrong with your ears?" $100 million. Hank gritted his teeth and said, "If you just want $100 million, we will give it to you and Mr. Rothschild for your sake. But you want this money to set up a fund to target us. How can we agree to it?" Charlie smiled and said, "You are wrong. $100 million was the price yesterday. Today it is $1 billion. Those who can take it out can continue to be men. Those who can't take it out can forget about being men in this life." At this point, Charlie sighed. "Oh, actually I don't mind you spending so much money. It's unnecessary. You guys have been playing with others all your life. And you must have had enough. You might as well take this opportunity to lie down and spend your life lying on your belly. Let's be fair. Aren't you fine if you let others play with you in the future? This way you can save $1 billion. Hank's eyes widened and he blurted out, "Mr. Wade, we are perverts, but we are not gay." Charlie shrugged, spread his hands, and said innocently, "Then I can't do anything. Or you try to change your appearance. How can you know if you don't try it?" As he said, Charlie looked at Steve and smiled. "Steve, don't these people like to get an island to play? Otherwise, you help them get an island. And then find a group of macho men who like to play with people like them. Without them spending a penny, and let them experience the taste of being played." The crowd was already pale with fear. Hank swallowed and protested. You can't do this." Charlie smiled and said, "Don't worry, I still have a way to make you willingly fall in love with being played with. If you don't believe it, it is time to try." Chapter 66-97. Hank and his group were already devastated. They couldn't understand why this man wanted to catch them, when they had been doing dirty things in the United States and on some private lands. If the dog and the mouse lived together, it would be understandable. But if they were thousands of miles apart and still held on to them, wasn't it a bit too much? As the leader of the group, Hank was panicking and asked him subconsciously, Mr. Wade, why do you have to pick on us? We are not as ambitious as Mr. Rothschild. We have earned enough money in our lives and have endless money to spend. We have also enjoyed all the fun that ordinary people can enjoy. Now in this world, only those perverted things can make us happy. If you deprive us of this little right, what is the meaning of our life? As he said, he asked with a pleading face. Mr. Wade, how about we make a deal? In the future, we will never force anyone. Everything will be based on one thing: we are willing. Is that okay? We will give the other party enough money to make them willing. And we will definitely choose an absolutely private place in the future. And we will never leak any news. In this way, we will not have any negative impact on society. What do you think? Hank had thought about it just now. If it doesn't work, just agree to it first. If you are not allowed to do it, just do it secretly. But then he thought that he couldn't take this risk. Because Charlie's requirement was that they should take out a huge amount of money to set up a fund specifically to encourage killers to kill perverts like them. Once this fund was really established, many people would rack their brains to dig out the hidden perverts. At that time, no matter how deep they hid, they might be shot in the head suddenly. When Charlie was in Brooklyn prison, he hated these perverts. Especially John Lawrence, who was imprisoned for molesting a little boy. Moreover, Charlie gradually discovered that there are many hypocrites in society. When these people are in front of others, they all look well-dressed and decent. Many of them are well-known entrepreneurs and even entrepreneurial idols in the eyes of young people around the world. They would feel insulted if their ties were slightly crooked or their suits were slightly ill-fitting. But when they are in public, they are more perverted than anyone else. If no one was caught, who would know that many celebrities and rich people who talk about charity, environmental protection, and saving the world all day long are actually perverts among perverts? What Charlie couldn't understand the most was that the famous crooked-headed scientist, who sat in a wheelchair all day and couldn't move anything except his neck, was actually a frequent visitor to those islands. Sometimes just thinking about this kind of dirty picture would make a man like Charlie, who had a strong sense of justice, and angry. So, Charlie looked at Hank and said with a smile, "Okay, if you want to play, then go ahead. Since you have lost that ability, let others treat you abnormally in the future. This is also a way." "But," Hank cried, "but you have to help us restore that ability, right?" "Sorry," Charlie said with a smile. "You guys make me very upset. So it's impossible for me to let you restore your ability. I have already proposed a solution to you. Since you want to be abnormal, just change your role in abnormality. Even so, you can still do abnormal things." Hank collapsed for a while. Chapter 66-98. At present, this problem has fallen into a dilemma. I want to restore that ability, but I don't want to agree to Charlie's request. But if I don't agree to Charlie's request, Charlie will not be willing to help me recover. If we part ways unhappily, won't I lose the greatest pleasure in my life in the future? For a moment, everyone looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Steve sneered at this time. "You guys do things without thinking. If you agree to Mr. Wade's request, even if you can't do those perverted things from now on, at least you can still retain your male ability, and basic pleasure is guaranteed. But if you don't agree to Mr. Wade's request, basic pleasure can't be guaranteed. Do you really want to become Hom 0s3 Zules?" Steve's words woke the dreamer up. Between retaining basic functions and completely losing functions, choosing between the two, the former is more attractive. Even if you choose the former, you need to pay an additional $1 billion. They have already earned enough wealth to live a lifetime without worries about food and clothing. If you lose that ability, what's the point of asking for money? So, several people exchanged glances, and Hank spoke first. Mr. Wade. We agree. Charlie asked him. Are you willing to agree? Don't force yourself. Hank gritted his teeth. I am willing, not reluctant at all. Charlie sighed. Oh, you guys really turned back. If you can get more than $1 billion together, and fight against perverts worldwide, it will also greatly enhance your popularity. In the future, the whole world will regard you as the number one to fight against perverts. It is really a great honor. Hank was scared to death. Mr. Wade, we have no problem paying the money. But you must not reveal our identities. We still want to live. After that, he couldn't help sobbing and said, You don't know, on those private islands in the Caribbean, there are many people who are richer and more perverted than us. If they knew that we paid to assassinate them, they would kill us first. Charlie looked at Steve and asked him, Is it true? Steve coughed twice and said, The world's richest man, who has been on the list for a long time, also often went to the island. This is already an open secret. But the specific details and evidence have not been exposed yet. There are also some rumors about many Oscar-level superstars. Charlie sighed. Okay. You Americans are good at playing with flowers. Here, stars who have affairs will be banned. After that, Charlie waved his hand and said cheerfully, Since you are willing to spend so much money for justice, you can be more low-key. But you have to sort out and expose all the people you know who have participated in this kind of thing. After this fund is established, a reward of hundreds of millions will be offered in the underground network. The richer the pervert, the more he will spend secretly. 100 million, or even $1 billion is not a problem. I want those rich perverts to use the money they earn to hire a large number of bodyguards to protect their safety, and let them live in fear all day long. Hank and the others lost their temper at this time. Money, reputation, and abilities in that aspect were all controlled by Charlie. If he was not careful, he might lose everything. What was there to resist in this situation? Since he could not continue on his abnormal path in the future, at least he could still have basic fun. Chapter 66-99. The extra energy that had nowhere to be released could also be reinvested in starting a business. And maybe he could even go to a higher level. It was much better than being a useless person for life, facing the fate of being exposed and offending Steve. So, these people all agreed honestly. Hank asked Charlie, Mr. Wade, if we prepare the money in the next 2 days, can we help us solve the problem? Charlie waved his hand. According to our agreement, you should prepare the money first. And when I find a suitable person to be in charge of this assassination fund, you can transfer the money to me. As for what you did on his island before, I will not let him expose it for the time being. I will not pursue the fact that you instigated him to assassinate Tawana. I will also help you restore your ability in that area after you pay. Steve asked Charlie curiously. Mr. Wade, who do you think is more suitable to run this fund? This is an offensive job, and ordinary people can't do it. As he said, he looked at Charlie and winked at Matt on the side. Charlie instantly understood that Steve was giving him advice to let Matt be in charge of this matter. Matt is now a dog in the water. And this kind of person can get out of it. As the saying goes, you can survive after you die. So, he pointed at Matt, who had surrendered to Steve, and ordered. Mr. Finkelstein, in my opinion, from today on, you will be the general manager of this assassination fund. You will be responsible for supervising the operation of the entire fund. You will be responsible for managing the inflow and outflow of this money, the issuance of hidden funds, the payment of remuneration, and reporting to Steve regularly. Matt was so scared that he trembled all over and said tremblingly, "Mr. Wade. Mr. Wade, I have limited ability. I am afraid that I can't manage such a large fund." For Matt, he didn't want to take on such a thing at all. After the establishment of this fund, the operating funds were provided by the local tycoons around him. And they were all cryptocurrencies. For them, it was very safe and generally would not be exposed. However, he had to be responsible for managing all matters in the middle, including issuing hidden funds for assassinating anyone, which was equivalent to handing over all the offending matters to himself. Even if he could issue a bounty through the underground network, it would be difficult to completely conceal the management of an assassination fund worth tens of billions. What if Charlie asked him to assassinate the world's richest man at that time? Wouldn't he have to bear his crazy revenge? He finally escaped the disaster of being killed under Steve's protection. If he agreed to Charlie and took on such a thing. Unfortunately, Steve couldn't protect him. Charlie also knew what he was worried about, and said with a smile, "Among so many people sitting here today, anyone who says that his ability is limited, I can understand it. But I can't understand you." "Why, Mr. Wade? I really don't have the ability." Matt looked aggrieved. Charlie asked back in a cold voice. "Such a large private island, so many people, so many dirty things, you can manage them in an orderly manner. All kinds of dirt are hidden very well, hundreds of guests from all walks of life. You can also arrange and coordinate them very well, so that they feel at home on your island. Which shows that your management ability is extraordinary. It doesn't make sense that you can't manage such a small fund, does it?" Matt didn't expect that Charlie was waiting for him there. To be honest, he did a good job in management. He had managed his island very well for so many years. And nothing had happened. Chapter 6700. The reason why there was a problem later was mainly because one of his colleagues recorded too many videos and wanted to control other people through them. But he accidentally caused trouble and made it known to everyone in the world. Later, the guy was killed. But many guests were frightened and wanted to destroy the secrets related to themselves in order to protect themselves, which implicated him and his island. If it weren't for that stupid dog, he would probably still be on his private island, having fun with his guests every night. And why would he have to look at Charlie's face here? However, even if he had the ability to manage this mess, Matt still didn't want to take it. Now he just wanted to be an obedient dog in front of Steve. When the master didn't need him to bite, he would keep his tail between his legs. When the master needed him to bite, he would rush forward and bite. If he took Charlie's job, he would never have a peaceful life in the future. Seeing that Matt didn't dare to talk to him, Charlie sneered and asked him, "Mr. Finkelstein, you should be more open-minded. Why weren't you so timid when you spent $1 billion to buy Tawanna's life?" Matt said nervously, "Mr. Wade. I. Steve said disdainfully. "Matt, what the hell are you afraid of? Don't forget, you are far away from home. What do you have to be afraid of? From now on, you should make up your mind that you will never go back to the United States in this life." Matt said with a sad face. "Can't go back for the rest of my life." Steve said, "If you offend too many people, it will only increase the danger if you go back. It's better to live comfortably here. As long as you listen to Mr. Wade in Oris Hill. Even if all the rich people in the United States want to kill you, they don't have the ability to do so." After that, Steve said, "Besides, what is there to miss about the United States? Even if you don't take this job, there will be a lot of people who want to kill you when you go back. There is an old saying that you don't have to worry about too much debt. Just work hard in Oris Hill. When you die in the future, these things will be exposed. And you will be able to gain a good reputation. I don't know how many families will thank you. Matt sighed and said helplessly. Okay, I will listen to Mr. Wade and Mr. Rothschild. And try to leave a good reputation after death. Charlie nodded slightly with satisfaction, and told everyone. Go back and prepare the cryptocurrency. When the fund framework on Mr. Finkelstein's side is built, you will be given an encrypted wallet address. Just deposit the cryptocurrency in. When the money is in place, I will notify you to meet here. And then I will help you get back to normal. One of them asked Charlie nervously. Mr. Wade, next time we come, do we have to pay for the meal? Charlie said seriously. Of course, you have to pay. The meal standard here is very high. How can there be such a thing as eating for free? Everyone looked miserable. Come again at that time, even if it is 3 times. $10 million each time. Is there such a meal elsewhere in the world?